There are 5 questions that I ask before I say yes to any gig. As a drummer, I want as much clarity as I can get about what I'm agreeing to because you know what they say about assumptions. Whether you're just trying to break into playing in the music business or you're a seasoned professional, you've probably had a bad gig or two, maybe more. And honestly, a bad gig usually doesn't go bad because of something that happens on stage. It usually goes bad because of a conversation that never happened. You see, every gig is literally a set of agreements. In fact, a lot of times it's a literal contract. And if you don't define those expectations, you can end up in a situation that you did not expect, and that's not going to be good for anybody. And I'm sure, like many of you that are watching this video, I've had to learn some of these lessons the hard way. So if you want to come across like a pro and avoid bad situations and show up feeling prepared and confident, here are some questions you should be asking. Question number 1, what exactly is the gig? You need to know not just where, what's the venue, but what exactly are you being hired to do? Is this background music at a wedding? Is it a headline gig at an outdoor festival? Is it an artist showcase? Is it a note-for-note cover band? Are you only playing drum set, or are you going to be asked to be a utility musician? Is it a one-off gig, or is it something that could be long-term? A really good friend of mine likes to say, the mother of all frustration is unmet expectation. And so this first question is a great initial step in alleviating some of that frustration. The more you know about the situation, the better prepared you can be in terms of gear, music, mindset, and a lot more. Question number 2 is, what's the musical expectation? Asking this question is going to help you start to get to know what the interaction is going to be with these people. What's the structure of the gig? And what's the preparation level that's expected? Is this the kind of gig where you bring an iPad and you have charts ready to go? Or is it expected that you'll have all the songs learned by memory? Are you playing to a click or background tracks? Or is it all 100% organic? Do you need to play exact parts and arrangements? Or is there some flexibility? And are there going to be rehearsals beforehand or just the gig? And while they aren't always red flags, I always keep my ears perked for statements like, we'll figure it out, or that should work, or it's pretty chill. While this can sometimes tell you that it's just a relaxed environment, it can also be a warning sign. Question number 3, what are the logistics? And I'm not gonna lie, this one for me has been the make or break factor many, many times. A few things I wanna know are, first, what's the schedule? When's the load in? When's the sound check? When am I expected to be playing notes on my drum set? When's the downbeat? And when does the gig get over? As a side note, I've learned over the years that I need to be able to tell my wife a reliable time that I'm going to be home. Not only does this make our relationship function much more smoothly, it makes it a lot easier to say yes to the next gig when I've kept that commitment. I also want to know what the load-in is like. Where do I park? Is there a staircase or an elevator? Is there going to be a place to put cases and bags, or do I need to put those back in my vehicle? Is this a backline gig? Do I need to bring the full kit, or is it pedals, snare, and cymbals? What's the size and layout of the venue, and does that create volume expectations or volume limitations? Is there a sound system and an engineer? Do I need to bring my own in-ear monitors, or is it going to be a wedge? I know it sounds like a lot, and I'll probably say this a couple times in this video, but if you can learn how to ask these questions just in an easygoing conversational manner, you can get a lot of information and solve a lot of problems before you get to the gig. You're going to be much more prepared. And conversely, if you don't ask these questions, you can guarantee yourself a surprise or two when you get to the venue. All right, question number 4 is everybody's favorite, of course. How does the money work? And I'll admit that early on in my career, I hated talking about the money. It always felt greedy or self-serving to ask details about how I was getting paid. But over the years, I've learned that it is a mark of professionalism to speak about the money early and clearly and calmly so that things don't have a chance to get weird later. It's an important detail, and if you can get it settled and smoothed out right at the beginning, then everything else is going to go easier from there. So now I always ask, what am I getting paid and when? Are there going to be tips involved? And if so, how will they be split out? Who is the person that actually pays me, and what form will it take? Will it be cash, a check, Venmo, or something else? And if the gig changes, does the money change? As an example, I've played many, many weddings in my career, and I can't count the number of times you'll get towards the end of the event, and somebody in the wedding party will walk up to the band and say, hey, look, there's still people here, and I know we said 10 o'clock, but would it be cool if you guys just went another half an hour or an hour? And if you've already established that more time playing equals more money for the band, it is the easiest thing in the world to just say yes, absolutely, no problem, and mean it. Again, this is absolutely not about being greedy or selfish. It's about being clear. And while it's not the only way to show respect for musicians, it is one of the easiest, one of the most visible ways that you can tell musicians that you value their time, you value their contribution in the work that they're doing, is to make and keep clear commitments about money. Okay, question 5 is, who is responsible for what? Who is your point person? Who's going to be your main contact about the gig? Who handles the set list and the charts, and how are you going to get that information? Who actually makes the final details about logistics and musical decisions? I cannot tell you the number of times that I've come to a gig, especially a smaller gig, and I've gotten my kit halfway or most of the way set up, and then the band leader comes in and says, no, not there. We need you to move 3 feet this way. It's a little frustrating. I also like to ask, what happens if something goes wrong on the gig? Who's going to handle those minute-to-minute things that can come up? This can be another area that if the answer is, we'll figure it out, that's a warning sign. As a minor example, a few weeks ago I was hired to work with a big band that I'd never played with before. I was contacted by a member of the band who set up the initial details and hired me, but then I started getting texts from a number I didn't recognize. So I had 2 people texting me about the gig, call times, load in, venue, set list, things like that, and the information was conflicting. It all ended up totally fine, but it turns out that the person who initially hired me didn't actually have the correct information, so I was really glad that I was asking extra questions as we went along. And if anybody from that band happens to watch this video, I want you to know I absolutely had a blast, and I hope we get a chance to do it again. Asking these types of questions is not about being high maintenance. It does not make you annoying. As you learn how to handle them tactfully, diplomatically, and in a low-key way, they're going to establish you as somebody who is a true pro and knows how to handle themselves in the music business. They make you dependable and hireable. Again, if you're just getting into the music business and you're just starting to play for pay, ask any veteran musician because they already know all this stuff. So let me ask you, what's a question that you always ask before a gig? Or if you've got a story about a gig that went sideways because you didn't have a conversation like this, I really want to hear that story too. If this video was helpful or made you think, click like, and if you're not already, I hope you'll consider subscribing. I sincerely hope your next gig is a smooth one. And until I see you on the next video, happy drumming.